Well, first you said you were gonna slap me, and you didn't, because we all know you're a bitch. Then you said you're gonna put me to sleep. So when that bell rings, stand by your motherfucking words and don't run that. That's all I gotta say. The same thing I told you at BKFC 12. Stand by your motherfucking words.
Hey guys, what's up? Joshua First here, CombatInsiders.com and Knucklepedia.com. I'm here with the one, only, Easy E Educated Hands, Reggie Barnett
Mr. Reggie
Jr.
Barnett Jr. Yes, please. They stay leaving out the junior. I am my son's namesake. My dad's namesake.
Well, I remember one time we did an interview before, and you got on me about not saying the junior, and I was like, oh yeah,
because they always, like, even in the post-fight stuff, they just put Reggie Barnett, and it's like, no, the junior is a big part of it. You know? My skill, comes from my father.
Yeah.
And so I want people to, recognize that.
Yeah. Well, look, man, co-main event, BKFC 14, November 13th. You versus Dat Nguyen. This is a fight that, I know that you have been wanting. Personally, I think that this is the fight to make. I think you versus Dat is appropriate.
Me versus Dat should have happened before me versus Abby.
I agree. I agree.
Me and Dat should have fought the last time I fought out. I don't feel like I had to go out and destroy Abby to get to Dat when he's only got 2 wins and I have 5. But it is what it is. It's not really a big deal to me. I had the utmost respect for Dat when he initially came in the league. I was, just kind of just appreciative of having another accomplished boxer in the league initially, and then all that shit is dead. It turned to beef, and so and I wanted to fight him just based upon the merit of always challenging myself and fighting the best. And now I don't feel like he's the best at all, and I still want to fight him, and I'm going to absolutely destroy him.
Well, let me ask you this. So what were you thinking, man, when when you got the call, Bedford's out, back injury, whatever's going on with him. Hey, Reggie, step in, need you to fight Dat, interim title. Like, I imagine there was probably zero hesitation on your part.
Yeah, zero hesitation on my part. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm there. But my team, on the other hand, it took some convincing. My dad, my doctor, my mom, the team, and they were like, you just fought in September. The doc's not going to clear you to fight again until the end of November and this and that. And I was like, no, I'm good, I promise. Because I stay in the gym. I stay training. I'm in shape. I'm always ready to go. So there was no hesitation on my part. It took a little bit of convincing for my team to get on board. And, of course, I wouldn't ever take a fight or fight if my coaches and my training partners and my manager and all that aren't in agreement with it. So, just so y'all know that. It's not always the fighter that turns down the fight for some respects. It's a team effort, It's me when that bell rings, but getting me to that part is a team effort, and I respect the decision of my team. Conglomerate, we decided we were going to take the fight, and so here we are, a couple weeks out. I'm in incredible shape, and I'm already ready to go.
How personal is this for you? Because, we touched on it before that you're usually a really well-mannered, well-composed guy, right? And, when we went to the Bedford fight, there was some heat between you two. Going into this fight seems to be a little heat between, online and, at your last fight, you guys kind of jaw-jacked when you was in the crowd.
Not a lot of people understand. We did an interview on the Jeff Fuller podcast, and he came on there, and we had a little back and forth. And he said, his direct quote was, "Oh, you're not worth the time to fight. I'm just going to slap you the next time I see you." So when I got out of the ring at BKFC 12, I said, "Here I am, Dad, slap me." And he backed up. Everybody saw the video. When I walked over there initially, he backed up away from the railing. And then when the security guard came over, he came back over and started running his mouth. But as far as from, like, the personal whatever, I learned, I matured, I grew from the Bedford fight. I know not to go in there fighting based upon emotions, to go in there and still do what Easy does and be the cerebral fighter, go out there and pick them apart. And if I knock them out in the process, I do. If I don't, it's okay, because it'll still be a 5-round ass whooping that he's going to have to endure.
What's been the mental journey for you? We went from, over a little over a year ago now with you and Bedford for the title. Obviously didn't go your way. You had the Matt Murphy fight, which we talked about. Nobody saw unless
you were there. You didn't see the Matt Murphy fight. Unless
you were there. You had the Abby fight.
I broke Matt Murphy in a minute and a half. So.
Yeah. And then we saw the Abby fight, which performed extremely well. And then now we're here, short notice, what has the journey been like for you the last year and year and some change?
Just trying to grow as a fighter, as a man, and as a father too. Just try to balance all of those things and still be able to go out there and put on great performances every time. To me, it's not. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's a fight." It's a fight. For me, it's a performance.
Yeah.
I'm going out there to perform my art in front of the world. Granted, my art is beating up another man, but I'm pretty damn good at it. So as long as I keep a cool, collective, sane mind, and I'm a freaking artist with these hands.
You mentioned before, and we'll just touch on this briefly. You mentioned in another interview that you're not so convinced that Johnny might not be coming back to 135 after the injury. He fought Charles Bennett at 145, right? And now he's got the injury with this. I mean, what are you thinking? Like, how confident are you that you don't think he's coming back? I mean, what do you think's going on?
It's not really a confidence thing. I don't wish injuries upon anybody.
Sure.
And, I have the utmost love and respect for Johnny Bedford, as a fellow fighter and also as one of the pioneers for bare knuckle.
Sure.
So I want to see him come back at 135, of course, but we all know that Johnny struggles to make that weight. And coming back off of the type of injury that he has, it's going to be extremely hard for him to get back down to 135 pounds and come back right away, to that weight class. If he comes back at 145, I see that happening more first than him actually coming back at 135.
Interesting. So, as far as you're concerned, do you think that I know you've said before titles aren't necessarily the end-all be-all, but is this fight? I know it's the interim title fight that's on the banner, but is this really for the world? To you, is this for the real title?
I mean,
if you're not convinced that Johnny's coming back,
I don't even care. I know that sounds. I don't know how that sounds, but it's not about a title or a strap.
Sure.
And that was one of the things I also kind of I think in the Bedford fight too, just the
the pressure of it,
and because that was the first time I'd ever been through that in my life, and like I said, I still had some maturing, some growing to do. So I'm not even going into it with that mindset. It's just another fight.
Yeah.
There's a man in front of me that I don't like, but I'm not going to go in there and beat him up based upon the fact that I don't like him. I'm going to go in there and beat him up based upon the fact that I know I am better than him at bare knuckle fighting. And whatever the outcome of it is afterwards will be the outcome. At the end of the day, the goal is still to solidify myself as one of the greatest modern day bare knuckle fighters. There are plenty of guys in the UFC who never won a championship but are still considered, one of their greatest fighters.
Absolutely.
And so it's not really about winning a championship. It's just solidifying my dominance in this sport. And Dad is another guy in my way of doing it, and so I got to take him out.
Specifically about that, both you guys are veterans of combat sports in general. He was Muay Thai, traditional glove boxing, MMA, and all that stuff. Like, what kind of tools do you think he brings to the table, and what do you think you have to do to overcome those tools?
I feel like really the only thing he brings is his boxing experience. All that other stuff, I don't think he's too versed in it as well as I am. I've been training combat sports, all facets of martial. I'm a martial artist. I do Wing Chun, karate, taekwondo, kickboxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, sambo. I mean, we could go. The list could go on. I have practiced and trained and everything because I consider myself a martial artist. I don't think he's at that level.
Yeah.
And so I have more tools to use in there. And as long as I use them in a smart manner, then I don't feel like he has anything for me. Is that being disrespectful?
Hey, no. I mean, hey, you're a confident man. Hey, speaking of that, tell you what, I'm going to get out the frame, talk to Dat. If Dat was right here, right where my finger's at, what would you say to him right now if he was right here?
So, you said you were going to put me to sleep. Well, first you said you were going to slap me, and you didn't, because we all know you're a bitch. Then you said you're going to put me to sleep. So, when that bell rings, stand by your motherfucking words and don't run that. That's all I got to say. The same thing I told you at BKFC 12. Stand by your motherfucking words.
Can't say any better than that. Guys, I'm Joshua Furs. This is Reggie Barnett Jr.
Y'all,
757 Boxing, right behind him.
If y'all don't already have it, please make sure y'all download that BKTV app. It's going down live November 13th, Miami, Florida. I'm coming to bring the pain. Y'all already know what I'm made of. Y'all already seen it. The world has seen it time and time again. We gonna truly see what the hell Dat Dat Nguyen is made of.
That's all I got. Josh Furs, CombatInsiders.com, Knucklepedia.com.
Shout out Josh Furs, Combat Insiders. Thank y'all for having me.
Boom.